What is up, guys? We're back. I'm George Mossey. This is my co-host, Marshana, Dahlia, Spavento. This is part 2, 90 Day Fiance, The Other Way, Season 3, Episode 8. So much happened last night. So we actually got to follow Ellie and Victor last night, who were absent from the show the week before. And we are seeing how their relationship dynamic works in person, because we have seen her from Seattle, Washington, and him from Providencia. And now we're seeing them together. And we are actually seeing that Ellie is kind of a personal ATM machine for Victor. And we saw that in a trip to the hardware store. And we've also seen it in a trip last week or the week before as well to the store to get clothing and things for his sister. So my thing was, she finally questioned him regarding the relationship that he had. And the woman who reached out to him said that she had gifted him a motorcycle and was taking care of him financially. Now, this is a pattern, because this is the exact same thing that Ellie is doing for Victor now. So Victor has a pattern of getting women to help him financially. And Ellie actually, in the back of her mind, can see the pattern. She doesn't want to see it because she feels that she's been lonely for so long. She doesn't want to believe that he's using her for money.
You know, I don't, Ellie. Ellie. Wow, Ellie. Okay. Yeah, she is his personal ATM. She supplies the finances in the relationship. And this is kind of sort of what she agreed to, isn't it? Because Victor doesn't have an income, and you know that. So I don't know what we're talking about here. The idea that, oh, he's with me for money. He's going to be with anybody for money. That is his profession. You know, we had a name for it back in the day. I won't say it just in case it's not any longer PC and y'all going to try to cancel me. But this is how he makes his money. He gets with women for profit, and she knows this. So I don't understand what the purpose of this exercise is. Like, why are we all in San Andreas trying to prove a point to, you know, it kills me in life sometimes. So people feel like they have to walk out the motions when they already know the end. They already know what's going to happen. So we have to be subject every week to watching Ellie walk this out with Victor.
I feel like the problem is now, in the past, she had a business, so she was recouping her losses. And at this point, anything that she spends is never going to recoup because she's not working. She has no business. Even when she was there with him, money was being made on her behalf. So I feel like now it's hitting home like, hey, once my money is gone, it's gone forever. And I think that is where she is.
And he'll be gone too. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, we're going to watch it every week. Yeah, here we go.
All right, so let's talk about Steven and Alina. So Alina's mom has basically laid into Steven and called him out for his lies and his hypocrisy. And it really hit hard when we were watching them at the dinner table, and he said that they can't have coffee because that's a sinful drink. And then we come to find out that he is not a virgin. He's been lying to their daughter, and she's like, oh, so you can pick and choose the parts of your religion that you want to follow, but we can't drink coffee because that's wrong. And then in the same table setting, he tries to convert Alina's mother to his religion that he can't follow. And the first thing I thought was, he's like a used car salesman. It's like a 2-for-1. He's like, I'm going to try to convert all of these people. It's like they get a commission. It just made me so angry, because watching Steven's actions brought me back to why I'm not religious anymore, why I do not go to church anymore. It's filled with people like Steven, people who believe they're above the law, they're above the God, they can do anything they want, and they want to spend their time looking down on others and calling them out for their sins. That is just such a despicable way to live. And hell is going to be filled with people like Steven. And I tweeted it last night, and I mean it. And I'm sorry if it was harsh, but hell is filled. It will be filled with people just like Steven, and people who are living their lives and trying to do what's right, and who aren't judging other people are going to be the ones in heaven.
You know, it's interesting. Last night I tweeted that, you know, I was raised in a cult known as the Seventh-day Adventist Church, and people are like, what? And I know that you know the same thing and what I'm experiencing, because you too were raised in the same cult-like fascination of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. And I was raised with the same erroneous belief that coffee was a sinful drink. And literally my house was filled with Roma, this like coffee tasting substitute that was caffeine free. We couldn't have anything with caffeine. We couldn't have Coca-Cola. We couldn't have Pepsi. Anyway, my husband accidentally the other day brought home Roma. And I was like, what is this? And he was like, what? I was like, it's this appetizing drink from my childhood. It doesn't have caffeine. He was like, wait, it doesn't have caffeine? And when I read it to him, I'm like, it's like a coffee substitute, but that tastes like coffee, so you can get the taste of it without the caffeine. He was like, I didn't know, I'm Italian. It said Roma. I thought it was Italian. But the religious trauma syndrome. And honestly, I was so triggered last night watching Steven because, again, it's the same mother-loving thing. It is the same thing. That coffee is sinful, but yet here you are justifying the fact that you're not a virgin by saying everybody has their weak points. Well, why can't her weak point be that she has a glass of wine and she has coffee? Those things are considered forbidden by you, but you're having sex, but then you're just seeing it as, oh, whatever. Here's the thing that bothers me. It's always these religious cult-like hypocrites that meet you, and the first thing they come to you with, I don't know how this pitch works on anybody, is what you have to give up. It always starts with what you must sacrifice. Sex, coffee, alcohol, and it's just a list of rules of what you cannot do in order to be righteous and make it to heaven. This place that none of us have seen, and no one has definitive proof that here it is. Now, I'm not saying heaven doesn't exist, so please don't at me. I'm just saying that they come to you with lofty promises that they cannot vouch for will actually happen for you. And it's always about what you have to give up. How this pitch works is beyond me. My father was indoctrinated into that cult in his 30s. How at 30 plus years old, Dad, rest in peace, did you believe this? And then he comes with the whole pitch to her mom. It's not going to work. Anybody who comes to me and says, in order to get these good things, you must sacrifice all these other stuff, can miss me. I'm just like you now, completely non-religious because I can't take it. Triggered.
I was triggered too. And I really, really, really hope that Alina leaves with her mother, cuts ties with this man. He has no idea what it takes to be in a relationship, what it takes to even be in a religion. He is so lost. He needs to work on himself tenfold before he can get involved with anyone or even try to bring anyone else into whatever it is that he thinks that he's doing. All right, so let's talk about Jenny and Sumit. So last night, Sumit's parents have arrived, and within minutes, there are no hi, how are you? Well, there was a hug, and then within minutes, Jenny was being scalded for her cooking, and she was being scalded for the state of the kitchen and cleaning and all of these things. I wanted to be on Jenny's side with the kitchen, but Jenny's kitchen was very dirty and very filthy, and it really, but on the other hand, though, I will say, Sumit lives there too. Sumit can also clean. I don't like how they're putting it all on Jenny. Neither of them are working. They're both working, are both living in that house, eating in that house, sleeping in that house. I don't like the way it's all Jenny's fault. But I do feel like knowing that his mother was coming, she could have done a little preparation.
But then that lets you know that was her version of preparation. You think she did none? Like, that was her version of like, oh, my mother-in-law is coming. My mother-in-law to be is coming. Let me clean up. Think about that, people. The kitchen was bona fide filthy. Okay? And yes, Sumit is a grown, able-bodied man who also lives in the home and eats the meals that are prepared in this kitchen. Therefore, Sumit also holds responsibility, but we want to act like we're so new age and that, oh my God, men and women share responsibilities. We can divide household work, and this is true. But let me tell you what is also true. No one will ever go to a home where a man and a woman live, see the home filthy, and put the responsibility on the man. They will always look at the woman and say, she keeps a dirty home. I'm not saying that's the right perception, but that is how it is. When people come to my home, I make sure it's well kept and it's tidy. Because yes, it could reflect poorly on my husband, but as the wife and the woman over here, people are going to look at, she keeps a dirty home. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying, understand it. Now, listen, I am all for Sumit's mom. I can't remember her name right now, but I'm on her team. Okay? When she looked at Jenny and she said, "Kuch nahi aata," like you can't do anything, like you're completely useless. I'm like, yes, blow it up from the inside. This is beyond what sense can take. This has been going on over 10 years. Someone has to put an end to this, okay? And under normal situations and circumstances, I would not be for someone imploding someone else's relationship. However, sis, get in there and mess it up. Get in there and mess it up. Many Batsu. Listen to me clearly. This is ridiculous. Let me tell you. Jenny will never be an Indian bahu. It's never happening. It's never happening. Okay. So guess what? Let's just wrap this chapter up. It's good fodder for us, but this is not good for their lives. These are real people's lives, right?
Yeah.
So I criticize her all day, every day, and with a smile on your face. And just like Sumits said, this is the one time I'm glad that they don't understand each other, because Jenny's over there smiling like an idiot because she doesn't understand anything.
Yes.
Perfect.
I did notice, though, and we'll end on this, Sumit enjoyed watching Jenny be scolded by his mother.
I love it.
And I kind of felt like, I feel like Sumit he knows that this is going to implode it, and he knows that this is his way out. And it makes me feel like he didn't have the courage to end it himself and send her packing. So he had to bring in the big guns. And when you bring in your mom, that's the big guns. Mom is going to handle the situation. When you need help, you call mom, and mom will solve that problem. And that is exactly what's going to happen. And I do feel like Sumit at this point, he knows that he's not going to defy his mother, and Jenny has to go. He just doesn't have the backbone in it to make that happen. So at this point, that's what she's there for. That's what's going to happen. And I'm just here for it. I got my popcorn, and I'm ready to see next week. And I'm ready to see how this is going to end.
This is must-see TV. I'm so excited, and I'm so happy, because you cannot forego your culture. We are all culturally different, and we all can culturally get along. But there is not a part of Sumit that's not going to tell me that he does not want a bahu for his mother. A daughter-in-law that can stand beside his mother and work together. His previous wife did that, but he did not get along with her. I think what he ideally wants is a wife that he can find harmony with, who can also fill that role of a bahu.
Yep.
And I don't see anything wrong with it.
It's not. He wants to please himself and his family, and he can do that. There's nothing wrong with doing that. And I feel like at some point he's going to, and it's not going to be with Jenny, and Jenny is going to end up back in the U.S., and we're going to watch it all go down and implode, and I can't wait. All right, guys, that's it for part 2 of 90 Day Fiance, The Other Way, Season 3, Episode 8 podcast. I'm George Mossey. This is my co-host, Marshana Dahlia Spavento. Make sure you live tweet with us every Sunday. I'll have our Twitters and Instagrams at the bottom. And thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you all really soon.